The Africa Climate Summit was preceded by the African Youth Climate Assembly, and with me here today I have one of the young people who played a big role in making the African Youth Climate Assembly a success. So Deon, introduce yourself and where you come from, and also what action are you carrying back at home?
Thank you very much, Anita. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you. So in short, my name is Deon Shekuze. I come from Namibia. I choose to identify as a youth advocate for sustainable development, primarily focusing on SDG 7, renewable and clean energy access, and then also climate action. So my participation in the Africa Youth Climate Assembly in terms of build-up, I played more a substantive role than I did a procedural, meaning I was involved in consultations that we did at the continental level. We did 5 consultations on adaptation, trying to figure out what each of the youth positions are, given that climate impacts are also varied and dynamic going from continent or region to region. And one can also follow the IPCC report, which tells us some regions might be hotter and others drier and others wetter even. So moving with that logic, we then had to first figure out what the youth demands are, which then became building blocks to constitute the declaration that we have adopted here. And one of my takeaways from here is a very big one. I would like to think, I don't know if it's a takeaway or maybe chop away, because the idea is to now see how we're going to implement the declaration. And each component of the declaration speaks to different thematic areas of youth, from renewable energy to adaptation to decision making and participation. And as such, I think it's very important then that I go back home and work with other stakeholders, especially at a Southern African region, but also at a continental region, to see which pilot projects and activities we can undertake to showcase that the declarations were not merely talk, but there's a transformation on the continent around climate action.
Young people have always said that we want to be meaningfully involved, and the head of states, or the Nairobi Declaration, adopted the Youth Declaration. So what does that mean to you as a young person?
Simply put, it means congruence. You know, it means that the youth agenda and the national agenda have been elected as a unit. So for example, governments represents, heads of states represent governments. So whatever they declare is the position of a particular government. So for us now, in this case, when our position has been annexed with the summit declaration, it automatically means that our governments have also adopted our views as part and parcel of their views. So this means that youth have been given the leverage to actually have more power politically in order to execute, and also accountability. We now have the opportunity to hold our heads of states accountable because they have committed to this declaration. And it also means a commitment not only to us as young people, but to future generations. And we are the best who can represent those who are yet unborn. So this declaration acceptance into the annex is not only for the youth, but also future generations, meaning our leaders are thinking forward about it. So I think it also shows that African youth can lead the way compared to other continents, because very few young people around the world are working as close as we did right now with the heads of states to just have such commitment. So I think it's a plus for us, and it all depends on how we take it and move it forward.